It's hump day.
Yes.
Do people still say that?
I don't know.
Whoop, whoop.
In case those of you that are new, hump day is a nickname for Wednesday.
Yes, it is.
You've been living
Thanks.
under a rock
Thanks, McCall.
since 2005 when the camel made his appearance on the
Woot,
television.
Just
Hump
wondering.
day.
Y'all can hear me better,
Mike,
right?
Mike.
Got
Absolutely
some new
not.
equipment. Mike,
Like
Mike
how the
does
mic
whatever
just,
it
like,
wants.
fell.
We got new gear, which I love. This is the
Yes.
perspective. By the way, my name's McCall.
I'm Bima.
and I'm producer Butters.
And
I
today-
feel like I can hear myself better.
I'm so proud
I'm
of
so
you.
proud.
It's so good. It's probably
I feel like
because
you're not whispering anymore.
yeah. Well, that was the problem. I had the microphone like clear up to 10, literally up to 10, trimmed up to 10.
You
so
know
we
what?
were up 20.
You know what's nice?
Huh?
You probably can't hear me drink water now.
I don't know. Hang on. Let me put my headphones on.
I kind of heard something.
I can't hear anything.
That's
But-
so nice.
That is nice. It's a very good thing because usually it's like glug, 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 glug,
Yeah.
which is funny because then we can't hear your voice
I know.
when
it
you're
doesn't
speaking
make
into
any
it.
sense.
I don't get it. We're talking nicknames today.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how we got on this topic
No idea.
when it comes to nicknames, but we did. And once upon a time, let me see if I can find the nickname in my phone because my little brother had my same Apple ID for his phone as I did for my phone, which it took forever for him to actually get his own. Regardless, on this phone, there were plenty of names that I found hilarious. Hilarious. Like one of them was Stinky McButtface. And I don't think I could even come back from that. Like, I'll have to go through it and see if I can find some of the ridiculous names that are in here. But it was a lot of those. I'm scrolling through. I'm like, who in the heck is this? I got nicknames like cabinets because, I need to know who it is. Somebody's coworker. Like, I don't even, it's like I don't have their first name. It's just someone's coworker. Helpful.
We had a guy named, his name was Costco because he just had everything.
I like
We
that.
literally, that's what he called him.
Directory
Costco.
assistants. Who is that? See, and then there's these other ones that I'm like, I don't know if that's real. Fat Sack of Butts. That's the name.
That's the
There's
one.
another one in there.
Yeah, that
Stinky
one was a good one.
McButtface was there. Fat Sack of Butts is in here. I had to ask him. I was like, hey, who is that? It's like, they suck. I never want to talk to them again. Obviously.
Just delete their number out of your phone.
No, because then he still had to have it because he was like working with them. So it was like a, still had to have phone number type of a thing.
Well, that's stupid.
Anyway, I don't think they chose Fat Sack of Butts as their nickname. Probably through their actions, they chose it. But how have you come up with nicknames? Do you have nicknames? Like for me, growing up, my mom always called me Collie. So she'd call me Collywog, which then turned into Wog, which then turned into Woggy. And so that was kind of a nickname growing up. Collie ended up sticking for quite some time. And then I had to type in Collie for like a password type of a thing and came up as a username. And I just did it on my phone and I typed Collie in and it auto-corrected to Calmly.
Oh.
So then that became a running joke was Collie.
Collie.
Mucky was another one that people would call me because my cousin specifically, because someone was trying to spell my first name McCall and it's MCC.
It's Macaulay.
ALL. Macaulay. Macaulay Wog. But my aunts still call me Macaulay Wog all the time. But anyway,
That's weird.
they were trying to, I know, my cousin. So I went down to St. George. My aunt lives in St. George right now. And I went down there and my aunt said Macaulay Wog and my cousin, I have to censor because they're not censored, but my cousin said, do you think we can really call this grown woman Macaulay Wog? I don't think so, Mom. I don't think we can call her that anymore. But my other cousin, she called me Mucky for a minute because I was trying to text somebody and my name is spelled MCCALL. Well, this person asked, "Is this McCall?" and spelled it like Muckall.
Mew call.
McCall. It's like clever. So Mucky.
My favorite one is Mikkel.
McCall. That one's always a good one.
She always gets so mad.
I know. I'm like close, not quite. I've been called worse. Taylor is usually what I get a lot. Taylor comes through often, like when I'm at conferences or something. People are like, "Hey, Taylor, how are you?" I'm like, "It's McCall. Taylor, nice to meet you." Close enough.
I mean, sometimes people call them by their last names.
Yeah, for sure.
Like yesterday, that was kind of weird.
Yeah. Did you get called Butters?
Coworker. Yeah, they were like, "Bye, blah blah blah, bye, Butters," and I was like, "That's weird.
That's weird. Don't call me
Don't
that.
call me that."
Call me producer. Hello. Anyway, nicknames. How did you guys come up with them? Do you have them, etc.?
Well, the story behind Mima is when I was little, I couldn't say my name.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was little, I would cross from Mexico to Texas all the time because why not? And so immigration would stop us and they'd be like, to make sure I wasn't like kidnapped or something.
Right, of
so
course.
They'd be like, "Hey kid, what's your name?" And I would always say, apparently M was my favorite word. So I would just say Mima.
Close
Mima,
enough.
Mima.
Mima.
Like every single letter that was not a vowel, I replaced with an M.
Nice. I like that.
So that's the name. That's the story behind Mima. And then as I grew older, my sister just added some variety to it. So now they call me Mimitzia.
That's fun.
Mimitzia.
That's
yeah.
funny.
That's fun. I like it.
Mimis.
Mimis.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Mimis.
It's funny because I sometimes call her Mima.
Mima.
Mima. I dig it. Producer Butters?
I have a few
Mm-hmm.
that not a lot of people know, so I don't want to say it.
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Fine.
But it's mostly family.
Right. That's fair.
So there's that. But there was Smile.
Smile's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Because
little
he's
pen.
always smiling.
Right. Smiley face.
Mm-hmm.
Dig it.
All the time.
Smiles for miles and miles.
But I can't think of like any other nicknames.
Like specific ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right.
You know who gets a lot of nicknames? My dogs.
That's fair. My dogs have so many nicknames, and it's ridiculous how they come around.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea. So my dog's name is Teasel, for example. Teasel. How did we transition that? It was like Teasel to Spiesel to Spiesch to Pieselty to like. There's all of these random variations of it. Sis has. We call her Sis. We call her Swaggy also because of the way that she saunters. And so it's like her whole body, instead of just walking normal, it's like her whole body, her middle section, like swags in and out. So it does this like, I don't know how to even do it with my hands, but her whole center of her body. So we call her Swaggy, Yogi, Bud, which is pretty typical for dogs, but Yogi, Bud. We call Teasel Spider Monkey also because she like full send. She'll stand up. She lost weight. And so now when she stands up on the TV towards the TV stand, she'll like put her arms out and she looks like this like flying. Honestly, she looks like a flying squirrel, but we went Spider Monkey instead because she's a psycho. So anyway.
No, I don't think any of my dogs have. Well, I guess the boys do. Siri just kind of. So I have 2 dogs, and then I had one that passed away a little bit.
You say Sear.
I say Sear, but that's about it. Sear, Siri.
Peter Pete.
That's why I say the boys. The boy dogs have a lot of variations to their name. Like Sleepy, for example, had Sleepy, Deepy, Ribirutai, Sleepy Diddy, Deepy.
Oh, lots of good names.
Peter has Peter, Pete, Mr. Peterson. People actually think his name is Peterson.
I like that.
No, his name is actually Peter.
That's fair. Yogi will do. I don't know how we came up with it, but Yogi from Muskogee. and I don't know where Muskogee is, but we just rhymed it one day. And so we'll call him Muskogee every once in a while. Yogi Dog, lots of like rhymey-ish stuff like that.
So we had some dogs at my house. Joey is the name, but sometimes it's Jojo. There's Bentley, which is
Bentley's good.
well, that's the name.
That's a good name.
But
yeah.
Sometimes I call him Barkley.
Barkley. That's a good name.
All right, what up, Barkley?
What up,
Because
Barkley?
He just barks at everything.
Fair.
These little dogs.
I love that.
Butt rubs. Oh,
Butt rubs. That one's a good dog name. It's also a good one.
Peter's nickname, one lately that I've been calling him, is Stinky Butt.
Stinky Butt's a
Come
good
here,
one.
Stinky Butt.
Yogi does this thing where he'll back up to you, like back that thing up, right? And he'll like wiggle his butt. I don't know how to explain it. So we call him Butt Hump a lot because of the way that he like backs up. Humpy every once in a while.
Dumpy.
Humpy Dumpy. And so he'll just like wiggle back. So he's got so many nicknames. We usually, like, if we're trying to sneak, we'll tell him, look at Y, look at S, look at T. Except the problem is that Teasel's really smart, and so she picks up on things, and so we have to spell what we're going to do or who we're talking about. So Teasel, we used to say, grab T, and then she immediately picked up on it. So then it became grab Red, and so now she's picked up on Red, and so that one has been the new nickname because I'm like, I don't know how to hide that that's who we're talking about is that one. So we've got so many nicknames for dogs, and it's so random how you come up with them too. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have these spurts. Like, I don't know if it's like my anxiety or what, but like every now and then when I pet my dogs, I get this burst of I don't know what, and I just like pet them, and then I make weird noises. Yeah,
that's fair.
I make weird
really
noises.
weird when you're on the phone.
And
I
that's,
bet.
And that's when the weird nicknames come out.
Yes.
Like Siri
It's all in Spanish, so I don't know what she's saying.
a panchkiringa,
That's
petosa,
awesome.
patosa, escuincla. Like,
I love it.
But it's very high pitched.
yes.
That's awesome. You're like, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what comes over me. It just does.
So it's safe to say we have more nicknames for dogs than we do people's.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't really have nicknames for people a ton. Like, Mom, I just call her Shelby. That's her actual name. So
Shell Bell.
Shell Bell, I guess. I think she would probably thwomp me into next week if I called her Shell Bell.
I wasn't meaning for Shelby.
Oh.
My mom has nicknames.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Now that we're adults, we feel like we can call her by her first name.
Yeah.
She
What?
still hates it, but for some
sure.
reason, I guess she gets over it because we're like, we're adults.
I guess she gets over it.
But my sister gave her like so many nicknames, and my mom's like, if you're going to call me by my name, call me by my first name.
That's awesome.
What's the
Gramps.
Grams? Yeah.
Grams.
Good. Gramps.
Gramps.
Yeah. My grandparents, they're Nana and Papa for me. That's what we call them. My other grandparents, my one grandma, she died. So she died when I was like 18 to 17, 18 years old, somewhere in there. And we weren't really ever very tight, but it was like grandma first name. And so that's what we called her.
Yeah. That's how my great grandma,
Yeah.
Grandma Connie.
My step grandparents, they're just first and last or first names for them. I just call them by their first names, but I didn't acquire them, I guess you could say, until I was like 17 or 18 years old. But same thing, Dustin's grandparents, they're just grandma and grandpa, and then his other set of grandparents are their first names because it's more of a formal conversation with them most of the time. So
I'm in a little Nas exit. You can call me whatever you want.
call me what you want. Tell me what you need. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying, huh?
Oh,
You can call me whatever you want.
see, my mom, because my mom's a grandma at this point, since I have niece or nephews.
What?
Yeah. So
No way.
surprise. So she goes by Nana. She goes by Nana also, but then my stepdad, Brian, he goes by Grumpy because so my nephew, Ollie, he couldn't say grandpa, and so it was Grumpy instead of being able to say grandpa, and so now it's just Grumpy. That's his name, Grumpy.
Grumpy.
It's
I
Grumpy.
love it.
I do too.
love
It's
it.
so cute. The way that, and he gets so excited. Can I go to Nana and Grumpy's? Yes, you can go to Nana and Grumpy's. they're adorable. So that's his nickname.
Is that weird to hear? Like when you say your mom is a grandma,
No.
It's not really. I mean,
it's weird for me.
Like, it's exciting for me because it's like, I'm not providing them. First of all, that's the most exciting part for me. But
Well, my parents became grandparents when I was like 11.
Oh,
so
yeah.
most of my nieces
Wow.
and nephews are adults, which is
isn't what?
See, I think it's on the opposite. Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest. Yeah.
See, and I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
So it is weird for me because
I don't know. It's a little bit odd. So, my mom became an aunt when she was 1 year old. Okay, because she was the youngest.
oh
So her and her niece went to high school together. Like, so they were tight. Like, they hung out during high school. My mom and her niece did. So, it's like you and your cousins would hang out, whatever,
See, that's
different
kinda-
situation.
I have that situation. Like it's not it's a second cousin that had a kid,
Right.
and I went to
School with them. Yeah. So it becomes this like weird intermingling
so it's
of
technically my dad's. Well, no, because it's not even the same. It's the how does that work?
I don't know. Second niece.
uncle's daughter.
Yeah.
So what would that be? Second cousin.
second cousin.
Second cousin.
So
Yeah.
would that mean to me that's the third cousin?
Yes. If it's one more generation.
No. Yeah. No.
Listen, I don't know.
It's very confusing. No, it'd be an aunt. No.
I have no idea. So anyway,
No idea.
I have
idea.
I
I
have
don't know how family
absolutely
things work.
absolutely zero idea.
No.
No, it's interesting that aspect of it because like for me, my sister obviously has a couple of kids right now, and so it's cool seeing my mom be like a grandma. I don't know. I mean it's not necessarily weird.
Yeah. No, it's not weird for me at all. It's weird that my nieces are now drinking with me.
Yeah.
That's weird.
What?
Right.
That's because I'm looking at them and I'm like, aren't you 5?
You're a child.
like, what are you doing right now? And
Yeah.
it doesn't help that one of them is like really short and really petite. And I'm like, you literally look like a child.
You cannot
What?
be drinking right
Stop
now.
it. Stop it.
I had
And no.
No.
I feel like lots of nicknames come from mispronunciations, especially when it comes to like children. Like Grumpy obviously is
Makes sense, yeah.
one of my favorite misheard things, misspoken nicknames, and so it makes me curious if that nickname is going to stick around for like, I'm sure for the rest of my sister's kids, but each family basically has their own nicknames for their grandparents. Like, because for me, it's Nana and Papa. For my other cousins, it's Grandpa Jay. Like, so it's different nicknames, Does the overarching nickname for like your grandparents stay the same like throughout each family, or like is it consistent, or does it change?
I think it just depends because for me, like I only had one set of grandparents because my paternal grandparents passed away before I was born. So to me, my grandparents have always been abuelito and abuelita, and it's been the same for like all my cousins.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll add abuelita Irma, abuelito Pancho, which are their names, but for me and most of my cousins, it's abuelito, abuelita. For my mom, it's completely different because some of my nieces and nephews will call my grandma or my mom and dad abuelita, abuelito, grandpa, grandma. I know one set, my oldest brother's kids call them ma and pa. And then my oldest sister's kids call her oldest daughter actually calls my dad Grandpacito
Okay.
or Gramacita, so she mixes English with Spanish.
Okay.
So it's all different.
Yeah.
It's weird.
See,
Yeah.
I have an uncle, or my grandpa
Mhm.
and my uncle are the same name, first
Okay.
name. So one's just grandpa and one's
Uncle,
Uncle Dave.
name. Yeah.
yeah. So it's kind of now that we're older, we kind of drop the uncle part, but you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
so I still call my grandpa, and then I just call him Dave.
Yeah.
My uncle.
See, that's funny because like in where I live, which I'm not going to disclose, there's people that have the same name because it just is what it is. Like where, when you live in a certain community, it's like, oh, you got to be a so-and-so or a so-and-so, that kind of a thing,
Right.
You live in Tremont and you got to be a Franck, you got to be a, whatever. So where I live, there's a couple of people that have the same name. So we were looking at it the other day and Dustin and I happened to stumble down a rabbit hole on Facebook, and there's like 6 of the same name, first and last name, in the community. And the first name is Troy. So it's like, it's a basic name. Like, sorry.
name's basic,
I hate to
sorry.
break it to you. It's like Dan Smith. There's like 15 million Dan Smiths. Like, there just are, So, or Rebecca Smith. Like, it's the same, Jonathan Smith. Like, it's the same basic kind of a name, right? So there's like 15 different Troys. Not really 15. There's 6 different Troys in our community. And each one of them has some form of like lineage, like Big Troy, Little Troy, right? Only Little Troy is now bigger than Big Troy. And so it's this like nickname. You've got to have nicknames when it comes down to that,
A nickname encyclopedia for
Yeah.
that town.
Oh my gosh.
So my aunts both were married to Daves, 2 different Daves.
Oh.
And maybe I'll get dragged for this. I don't care. But one was the good Dave and one was the bad Dave. And the bad Dave found out he was the bad Dave. And
That must
because he didn't know that he was the bad Dave.
BD and GD.
That's right. I don't know that either of those are better.
Probably not, but I
So-
don't care.
I guess it's really hard to like differentiate like in a community. Like, how do you know the difference?
Yeah.
I think if in families it's a little different because there's 4 people with my name in my family.
Nice.
And we just kind of defaulted to, somebody has a nickname and then the second person that has that name is Tia, or she actually goes by our name. And then my cousin and I, who have the same name, they call us by our middle names. Like, if
Okay.
all 4 of us are together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're called by our middle names, and it's really weird because every time I hear my middle name, in my mind, it's like, oh, what did I do?
Right.
So when I'm at my, in a family reunion and they say my middle name, I was like, I've been sitting here.
I'm
Oh,
fine.
that's right. There's
Right.
4 of us.
Sorry, I
What?
forgot.
You're calling me. Oh, duh.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. No, that's something that I think it's so fascinating because, it gets really messy when you start texting people that are in your community, 6 of them that have the same name. And you're like, I don't know which one's which. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So like Dustin texted the wrong one a couple of, what was it? Probably a year ago. And they were like, what are you talking about? He's like, sorry, wrong Troy. My
Just
bad.
group
Like,
thread 'em all together.
seriously. Hey, I
Whoever-
need the Troy that knows what's going on here to text me back, please. I don't know which one you are.
That would be so funny.
Please respond. I
Thanks.
don't know what's going on.
Thanks.
So anyway, any final thoughts when it comes to nicknames?
Enjoy them, embrace them, don't hate them.
Lean into them.
Lean into them.
Create a persona around said nickname.
See,
Yeah.
if you lean into it, then people won't, I don't know.
Weaponize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if it was a nickname created out of malice, just embrace it.
That's right.
And then they can't use it against you.
Lean into it. It's the
Yep.
best thing ever. Okay. Well, this has been The Perspective.